Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins here again, the point man. Really, when you ran for the job, this is an elected office, this wasn't in the job description, was it?
Ebola was not in the job description.
And being basically in charge of public health, not really in the job description.
Well, in these emergent situations, I'm the Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for the county. And so that is part of the job description, but there was no way to guess what these 4 years would be like. It's been a lot of things popping up. And like those things that we've handled before, we've got a dedicated team, and we're going to get Ebola stopped here in Dallas County.
All right, a lot of questions. First of all, I know Frontier Airlines, a lot of people are really concerned because this nurse was apparently told by the CDC, even with the low-grade fever, that she could board this plane. Frontier Airlines says that it was alerted at 1 o'clock in the morning yesterday that this nurse had been on a flight with this low-grade fever. I know there was a news conference yesterday morning at 7 a.m. There was no mention that she was on this plane or anything about any flights. I think a lot of people are concerned. First of all, when did you find out, and why wasn't the public told about it until the afternoon?
Well, I found out at 11 o'clock when I saw a public release, and I had a good conversation with Director Frieden about information flow yesterday evening, and we're going to stay in better alignment with that flow. The CDC made a series of missteps there. They've been honest about their missteps. I need that information on a timely basis. We're moving forward.
You're being really nice now.
You can see how this can make people feel like you all aren't being forthcoming.
But the CDC knew about this, didn't tell you, although they told you you're in charge of taking care of the situation, and they knew hours before they bothered to tell you about this?
Well, I'm in charge of the situation here in Dallas County. Regardless, clearly that had an effect on Dallas County, and Mayor Rawlings and I should have been informed at least by 4 o'clock in the morning. But be that as it may, we have a much clearer understanding of what the expectations are for communication after yesterday evening's call, and we're moving forward.
In diplomatic languages, if you were at the State Department, they would have called that a frank discussion, which means it was not a pleasant discussion.
We had a frank discussion about the need for communication. This is it's a fluid situation, and everyone's working very hard. Our hometown healthcare heroes that are worried about whether they themselves and their friends may have Ebola, our first responders, our leadership team here, I'm sure they're working very hard too. At the CDC, I know they are because I'm with them every day at the hospital on the local level. That communication just has to be there. And I appreciate the frank way that Director Frieden stepped up on the national call and explained what had happened with the person getting on the flight. That won't happen again. The state's health director and I put whatever you would want to call them, legal documents that are going to help our hometown heroes know what the parameters are of their travel during this very difficult time, where our hearts and prayers go out to them, but we're not going to have them on public transport during that time.
But they can still go out. I mean, it's not like they're quarantined, they're just monitoring themselves still. So they can go out, they can go to the grocery store, they can go wherever.
They can go where the state's top public health official believes they're absolutely no risk to anyone else or to themselves. We're also making available to them hotel-like accommodations that we're setting up at Presbyterian and other places, so they can move away from their family if they choose to do that while they're monitored.
What does it say that this second nurse was moved to the hospital in Atlanta? Is that saying something about what's going on at Presbyterian? Because it certainly hasn't been handled well. It's
saying that we have 3 isolation units at Presbyterian, that people are exhausted, that we've had to pull people out of helping because now they are in that zone of risk and I can't have them around other patients. And we need those capabilities. This is a Dallas response to a national crisis. We're going to stop Ebola here in Dallas, but I'm going to need Nebraska and Atlanta's help. And I'm going to need to be moving these patients, if we get more, to these national units so that we can focus on surveillance and taking care of intake here at Presby.
You're fascinated by clipboard guy.
Really quickly, there's this guy on the internet, on social media, a lot of people talking about it this morning, and basically he was part of the transport team for the second nurse. You can see all of these people here in the protective gear. You can see Amber in protective gear as well. There's this one guy who's there in a button-up shirt and pants. Why is he not in protective gear?
Well, that's not one of my guys. But what happens
Who is he? Who does he work for? Do you know?
I'm assuming he's a CDC guy or a military guy. But the guys in the white put the person in the suit, that's Amber, in the suit, and that they were the Tyvek PPEs to put her in the suit. Mm-hmm. Once she's in the suit, she's encapsulated. They get on the plane with her. They leave theirs on in case she throws up or has a problem, and they have to.
He got on the plane. He got on the plane.
But she's basically in a bubble now.
She's in a bubble. They're in a bubble to put her in a bubble, and then they stay in their bubbles in case they have to work on her bubble. Who that guy is and what he's doing, I'm assuming he's well away from the action.
He apparently picks up a bag, a hazmat trash bag, grabs a container. To me, as a precaution, you stick him in a suit.
You're comfortable with.
That's the CDC's move, and I can't tell you why that guy wasn't in a suit. You need to be in your suit when you're around people who are symptomatic. You don't need to be in your suit when you're around asymptomatic disease contacts. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We've got more to come here on Good Day.